It was very, very hard. I mean, if you can imagine one day living like this, and then the next day being 4 feet, 5 feet, 7 feet in water, it was just kind of hard to get your head around, and it deeply wounded the clergy. When I got here, they were tired, and that was 5 years after Katrina. It didn't take much for me I could be in a meeting and say, well, tell me your experience. And it would just flow out. In a staff meeting, when I was meeting all of the staff, they would tell me what they did, for the diocese. But then I said, how many of you were damaged physically, your homes, during Katrina? And almost every one of them raised their hand. So not only were they having to contend with helping the diocese get back on its feet, but they themselves were disrupted. No homes in some places, homes to go back to, but were flooded in other cases. So they were confronted with not only helping other people, but trying to help themselves. When there is a hurricane that's kind of off the shore, it could be 20 days away from here, but you can kind of sense a tenseness of people. That's still there. Most of our folks have gone back into their homes, obviously. There's still areas of New Orleans that are devastated. The Lower Ninth Ward, Chalmette, those areas are pretty desolate still. But we've had some positive things happen because of that. We've had ministries that became into existence because of Katrina. Dragon Cafe at St. George's is one of them. It continues to serve a lot of people out of their kitchen, the homeless people now, that are not due to Katrina but other circumstances.
If it wasn't for this service right here, Lord knows my family and I would definitely be in need. We wouldn't even know where to go to get that extra bit of meal to carry us through the day.
All Souls Church Community Center in the Lower Ninth Ward continues its ministry of caring for that area that is pretty desolate even today. So there's a lot of work that can be done there. Jericho Road, it's now a cathedral ministry, but they continue to build houses for people who are kind of caught in between the gap of low and middle income, who can get a loan and so forth. The St. Paul's Homecoming Center continues to thrive. They've changed their mission from recovery to senior citizens, and they're going gangbusters. St. Anna's Mobile Medicine, they were here, but St. Anna's, all of their programs mostly were post-Katrina. So a lot of those things have grown out of a necessity with Katrina. We learned a lot of lessons about the immediate needs and then the other needs. So that's a gift, I think, that the people in the Gulf can give to the church. Katrina also uncovered some issues that were kind of ugly. Disparity between poor and wealthy, black and white, Hispanics. Painful, but it was I think a positive thing. Now it's out in the open. It can't be really shoved down anywhere. So that's been something that we continue to grapple with. The crime, New Orleans was not crime-free before the storm, and it continues to wrestle with crime, which has all kinds of implications. I think it has helped us understand broadly who our neighbor is, and not so isolated as just me and the person who happens to be living next door to me, literally. So I think that's been helpful to us. I remember when Japan had its tsunami. We are in relationships with Tohoku. And I reminded the people how generous they were. Now, they're a poor diocese, but they sent a very generous gift to this diocese after Katrina. And we responded, and I was very pleased with their generosity here, because we know now. We know when Sandy happened, we know what that's like to be without home, or to be homeless for many people. And there's so many stories that greatly changes your perspective on who your neighbor is. So in many ways, that's a lesson for folks who continue to be changed. When I was attending the mayor's inauguration in 2010, right when I got here, it was the 5-year anniversary of Katrina, and he said, and I can't quote him exactly, but he wanted to do away with recovery, the term recovery. We're going to start looking forward now. And I think that's been a conscious, intentional effort to get people to we've had 5 years of grieving, and not that we want to say, if you're grieving now, you need to stop that, but now let's turn our attention towards progress, the real change, the changing of who we are and who we want to become. I think that was a very powerful moment. It certainly was for me, because I did wonder, how long do you grieve? You know, in grief of death of someone, you usually tell them, give yourself a couple of years, and if you're still tearing up every time the name's mentioned, that maybe you need some help. But maybe you should be moving on. And I asked the question privately, when does that happen with a catastrophe like this? When is it okay to say, let's move on? The mayor, I think, called people to move on. I think what I would like people to know about the Diocese of Louisiana, that they are so resilient. The scars are there, and in some instances, deep pain continues to surface with not much help, actually. But for many people, life has gone on in a new way, and I think the health of the clergy, they've rested and re-engaged in the ministry that God had called them to be. And some of them have gone in a different direction of who their neighbor and how do they help their neighbor. They're broadening their understanding of that. I don't use the word recover anymore. I think I took the cue from the mayor, that we're looking for the future of things that can rebuild. I mean, one of the things that's happening here is that we are planning and beginning to raise funds to move this office from behind the cathedral to Grace Church on Canal Street. Grace Church got about, 5 to 7 feet of water, and their parishioners pretty much left the area. And so instead of selling the church, we actually looked at that. We decided to keep it. There are 7 Episcopal entities between Jackson and Carrollton, and so, but there is none in the middle of the city. So I can't think of a better place than to raise the flag of the Episcopal Church, that we're back, we're healthy, and so the Episcopal Church sign of "We welcome you" will be out there in a bold way. It's literally in the middle of the city. It's on the streetcar line on Canal Street. So I'm really excited, and there's a lot of energy around the whole diocese. I asked the deans of the diocese what they thought about this idea, and they were all excited and said that they would help in any way that they could with that. So we will hopefully 2017 we'll be over there. Use the space kind of like an incubator for ministries, give them a set period of time to mature, and then move them out into the world, and then move another ministry in and give them space to mature. And so that will be the rhythm of the ministry there. Grace Church really was the center of that community before Katrina, and we hope to do the same thing. Let it be the center of that community. And then where we are here, we will turn this into condominiums to help fund ministry around the diocese. So those are our plans in the future about the diocesan ministry, diocesan space. So good things are going on here, and a lot of good ministry around the diocese, and we're pleased.